All right, listeners, buckle up for a deep dive that'll make you think twice about booking that tropical getaway.
Oh, is this about that creepy island?
You know it, Rakteshwara's Hollow. A hidden cave temple, pirates, questionable decisions, all the ingredients for a great story.
This one's a bit different, though. It's not your typical pirate treasure hunt. We're mixing history, mythology, and a good old-fashioned be careful what you wish for kind of vibe.
Ancient curses, packs with some seriously powerful beings, and more pirate lore than you can shake a hook at.
Sounds right up our alley.
So, are you ready to set sail into the unknown?
Chart a course for the Andaman Sea.
Okay, now picture this. Jagged cliffs, a hidden cavern known as Rakteshvara's Hollow.
Spooky.
Deep inside, an ancient temple dedicated to Rakteshvara, a fearsome asura.
Now, for anyone who needs a refresher, Asuras in these old myths, well, they're strong, powerful, but not exactly known for their good deeds.
Definitely not the kind of deity you'd want to bump into in a dark alley, or in this case, a dark cave. But a crew of pirates did just that, stumbled right into this temple.
Can you imagine finding this dimly lit cavern, all these grotesque carvings of Rakteshvara?
And then there's the idol.
Massive, face frozen in this wicked grin, and the eyes, blood-red rubies. Talk about intimidating.
Straight out of Nightmare. So why would these pirates stick around, besides maybe hoping for some buried treasure?
Well, before they even got to the idol itself,
Yeah.
they found an ancient manuscript, a real head-scratcher, written in a language so old almost no one could understand it.
And what did it say?
It was a pact, a promise of incredible power, dominance at sea, protection from enemies, becoming the ultimate pirate powerhouse, you could say.
Sounds tempting, but what was the catch?
The price? Blood sacrifices to Rakteshvara, offerings to appease this fearsome deity.
This is a steep price to pay for power. Why would they even consider it?
These were ruthless pirates, remember. A world of violence, uncertainty, the temptation of unstoppable power, becoming a legend. It probably seemed irresistible.
So, which pirate captain decided to roll the dice and make this deal with, let's be honest, a pretty shady character?
Legend has it was Captain Varuna Blackfang. Ruthless,
Yeah.
ambitious, captained a ship called the Crimson Serpent. Fitting name, right?
And this pact, that's what kicked off his reign of terror.
Bingo. The sources describe a blood ritual. Blackfang, his crew, chanting in that eerie cavern, the cave trembling, the idol's eyes blazing with unnatural light as they offered their blood.
And what about the pirates themselves? Did they feel any different after all that?
Oh yeah, an immediate surge of power, almost superhuman strength. It said their wounds healed faster, their endurance was unmatched, and enemies, they just dropped like flies.
A real power boost. So, what did Blackfang do with all this newfound strength? Just start taking over any ship he came across?
Well, first they went after wealth and territory, plundering merchant ships, raiding towns, amassed a fortune in gold and jewels. But, victories tend to fuel ambition.
And ambition needs more sacrifices to keep that power flowing.
Exactly. What seems like a one-time pact turned into a dark obsession. Their victories made them thirst for more power. And that thirst, it demanded more blood, more offerings to keep Rakteshvara happy.
So their own blood wasn't enough anymore. They had to start finding other victims.
Yeah, their raids became more brutal, more frequent, taking prisoners not for ransom, but for sacrifice.
That took a dark turn. Sounds like the pack started to, consume them, twist their desires, lead them down a bad path.
It definitely seems that way. It's a classic theme in these stories about pacts with powerful beings. That initial gain, it often comes with hidden costs. And those costs, they can escalate quickly.
Like that saying, right? Be careful what you wish for. But we'll get to the consequences of Blackfang's ambition and the price he paid a bit later.
Oh yeah, what happened next? That's where things get really interesting. Their pact with Rakteshvara, it led to their downfall, but in a way no one could have predicted.
Okay, so our pirates are living the high life. Power, treasure, victories. But there's always a catch, right? What went wrong for Blackfang and his crew?
Ambition. It spiraled. The more power they got, the more they wanted. This vicious cycle, all thanks to their pact with Rakteshvara.
So even with all the sacrifices, things still started to fall apart.
Yeah. The sources mention a growing sense of unease among the crew. Nightmares. Seeing these shadowy figures lurking around.
Ooh, creepy. Side effects of the Dark Pact. Or something more sinister going on.
Tough to say. We are dealing with an Azura, after all. Immense power. Unpredictable. Maybe Rakteshvara wasn't too happy with their endless need for more and more power.
Sounds like that story, The Monkey's Paw, you know? Every wish comes with a twist. So what was the turning point? When did things really go bad for Black Fang?
It all went downhill when Black Fang came back to the hollow with a young fisherman. Another sacrifice.
No, I don't like where this is going.
This time the cave didn't just tremble. It was like an eruption. Guttural laughter. The idol's eyes, those rubies, they melted into pools of blood. And the carvings on the walls, they started moving, shifting.
Terrifying. What did the pirates think? Did they finally realize maybe they'd messed up?
I think the truth hit them hard. They were terrified. They knew they had angered something ancient, powerful.
Like playing with fire and finally getting burned. So what happened then? Did Rakteshwara himself appear?
Not quite. Something worse came out of the shadows, the wraiths of their victims.
Wait, those figures Black Fang's crew had been seeing in their nightmares.
Yeah, they came to life. From the depths of the cave, eyes burning with vengeance.
I'm getting chills. What about the pirates? Did they fight back? Or were they totally helpless against these spirits?
Chaos. The sources describe pure chaos. Even with their strength, they couldn't stand against those vengeful spirits. Dragged into the darkness, screams echoing through the cave.
What about Black Fang himself? Same fate.
That's the interesting part. The legend doesn't say what happened to him. Some say he was the first to be dragged away. Others think he escaped, but lived with the horror of what he'd done.
So he gained all that power, but couldn't outrun the consequences.
It seems that way. It's a cautionary tale. Power, ambition, the choices we make.
Makes me wonder, even if he did get away, was it worth it? To live with all that guilt, that fear?
Good question. But what about the island itself? What happened to Rakteshwara's hollow after everyone was gone?
The island. Not exactly a vacation spot after all that. Did anyone ever go back?
The island became a place of fear. Sailors avoided it. They found a crimson serpent drifting, sails ripped, covered in blood. A reminder of the horror.
Chilling image. You mentioned rumors of others trying to go there after Black Fang. Anyone ever come back to tell the tale?
Whispers, sure. Treasure hunters. People looking for the unknown. But not much proof. And the stories. Fragmentary, unreliable, full of inconsistencies.
Like the island wanted to stay hidden, keep its secrets.
Maybe, but there's another part of this that I find even more fascinating. Rakteshwara himself.
Right. Black Fang and the crew are gone. But what about the Asura? Is he still down there in that cave, waiting for his next victim?
Now that's the question, isn't it? And the sources. They give us hints, but no real answers.
Come on, give me the good stuff. What kind of hints?
Fishermen. They say they've seen a ghostly ship, blood-red sails, appearing on stormy nights, like the Crimson Serpent, but spectral. Others talk about this oppressive energy around the island, a sense of dread.
Sounds like even though Black Fang's gone, the island, and maybe Rakteshwara, haven't forgotten what happened.
Exactly. And that brings up new questions. If he's still active, what's he like? Sleeping, waiting to wake up? Or is he more powerful now, with no one actively worshiping him?
This is where it gets interesting. We're going beyond pirates and into the unknown.
Right. We're talking about an ancient being. His motivations, his desires, they might be beyond anything we understand.
So what does it all mean? Is the island cursed? Is Rakteshwara out for revenge on anyone who comes near?
That's for you to decide, dear listener. But before we let you go, think about the bigger picture here. This story, it's more than just pirates.
You're right. There's something deeper going on here.
Absolutely. Rakteshwara is a hollow. It makes us think about power, ambition, consequences.
And it makes you wonder about the things that might be out there, hidden from us. Mysteries we may never understand.
And maybe, like that island, some mysteries are better left alone.
You know, when you were saying some mysteries are better left alone, it got me thinking about all those stories of explorers vanishing. What if some of them found places like Rakteshwara's hollow? Places where, I don't know, ancient powers are still around.
Now that's a creepy thought. Adds a whole new layer to those unsolved mysteries, huh?
It makes you wonder, right? What if there are still spots in the world where reality and myth kind of blur together, where something like Rakteshwara is waiting?
The possibility is fascinating, yeah, but also kind of scary. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about the world. There are these forces out there, we just don't get them.
So hypothetically, someone ignores all the warnings and sails to the hollow today. What do you think they'd find?
The million-dollar question. A deserted island. Just echoes of the past. Or something a bit more real.
Okay, gotta ask. Based on everything we've talked about, do you think Rakteshwara is still active? Or is he just a story? A legend?
You know, the best part of this whole thing is we don't know. The sources hint at it, his presence, but nothing solid.
Hmm.
And that mystery, that's what keeps the legend alive.
It's like a mirror, the story. It shows you what you believe about the world, the forces beyond what we can see.
Exactly. Do you believe in these ancient beings?
Yeah.
In curses?
Yeah.
Pacts made centuries ago. The answer's probably inside you already.
Like the story's asking us to choose what we believe.
And that's what makes it more than just pirates. It's about belief, the limits of what we know, and the possibility that there are things out there that we can't explain.
So what's the takeaway for us, for the listeners who are now probably rethinking their next cruise?
Maybe it's a reminder to be careful. Respect the unknown. Every choice we make has an impact, and some doors are better left closed.
And maybe, just maybe, we should pay attention to those old stories, the legends, the ones that point to the hidden parts of the world.
Because sometimes the most interesting stories are the ones that leave us asking, what if?
Well, on that note, we'll leave you to think about the mysteries of Rakteshwara's Hollow and the power of legends.
Sleep tight, listeners. And if you're ever tempted to explore uncharted waters, remember Captain Blackfang and what happened to him.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.